I like to start with the inspiration question. I'm always curious about what was the initial spark that put you on this path.
Yeah, that's not an easy question to answer because ultimately the very first spark was photographing weddings was too stressful for me.
What?
Yeah. So that's actually, I went to college initially for photography. I was in art school, and I still do photography as a hobby, as an amateur photographer. But that first year of art school, I was an apprentice for a local photographer and helping with some of his gigs. And then I tried to do some weddings on my own, which went well. They were fine. But to this day is the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life. And I couldn't handle it. So I ran away screaming.
What's so stressful about taking photos of the wedding?
Because you're taking photos of one of the most important days of two people's lives, right? And if anything goes wrong with those, there's only one person to blame.
That's you.
That's you. And it was just too much. So I threw that down. Didn't touch my camera for like 2 or 3 years because
Really?
it stressed me out. But that is to say that I had taken French in high school, and I was trying to figure out, okay, well, what do I do? I just finished my freshman year of university, and I have no idea what I'm going to do. I want to take French classes again because I enjoyed that. And a friend who ended up being one of my roommates in college, he was in French courses at the time, and I said, oh, can I just sit in, go to class with you and sit in and see how the French is and see if I'll be okay with that. And he said, yeah. And I think one of the courses he had after that in the day was a linguistics course because he was double majoring in French and linguistics. And I was like, what in the world is that? I've never heard of linguistics. What is this? So he told me about linguistics, which is simply put, the scientific study of language. And there are lots of different areas of that. And so I started taking some linguistics courses of my own. There were 2 linguistics courses I took. At the first semester I was in that college was Introduction to Linguistics and Introduction to Sociolinguistics. One of the worst professors I've ever had. But the reading material, reading about linguistic study, I wanted more of that, and so I just continued taking more classes.
Right.
And
What fascinated you with linguistics? Because I study. I'm a bilingual. Dari was my mother tongue, and learning English, I learned English, but I was never fascinated as to how the English language was constructed. And then only when I started learning Chinese was when I realized, oh, there's probably some value in actually deciphering how languages are put together.
Yeah.
So what was it for you? Why were you fascinated with linguistics?
I think initially it wasn't even about linguistics and about language per se. It was trying to decipher some mysteries, right? And there are mysteries all over with linguistics that that's what our job is trying to figure out what's going on. And there's so much going on in language because it's one of the things that really makes us stand apart as a species. That's where the draw was for me, is just trying to figure out what's going on in all different aspects. I study phonetics, which is speech production now, but in syntax, so the order that words go together, how words are structured internally in different languages. It's just all really fascinating to me.
Thanks for listening to Blab Codes. Rate and review our podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast, because it does help us spread the word. And if you like what we're doing here, then help us grow it by sharing this with a friend of a friend, or your mailman, even your mailman's mailman. We also want to hear from you, so send us questions or comments to blabcodes@gmail.com. And if you have any interesting questions or comments, then we'll talk about it on air.